Hello, and welcome to a somewhat above average edition of Just an Opinion. Today I am joined by Flobo. Flobo, thanks for coming down to San Diego.
Yeah, no problem. Somewhat above average?
Well, you know, it's a little bit above average. So today we're going to go a little bit off the rails, and we're going to talk about movies featuring the rap duo Kid and Play. So we've got some house parties and a class act. I'm excited.
I'm excited too, but is it just me, or does it seem like we did this already?
No, we haven't.
No, we've definitely done this. It was like 10 years ago. You had long hair.
Oh, come on. Now I definitely know you're making it up. I never had. Welcome to another edition of Just an Opinion. I'm Ralphus.
I'm Flobo.
And today we're going to review the House Party franchise.
Yeah! See? What do you have to say about that?
Well, first of all, I need to fire my editor for one thing. Alright, so anyway, we're going to start with House Party 1. This was a great film featuring some up-and-comers in both the music and the acting industry. The plot is really simple. Play is hosting the party of the year, but Kid got in trouble at school fighting with full force, so he's grounded, so it's a race against time for him to make the party.
Never have I seen a movie so unlike reality, but so relatable at the same time. I love the original House Party. It was great.
I want to thank y'all for making me feel welcome. It really did the trick. All right. Oh, by the way, suck my dick.
I agree, very simple, but the humor and entertainment really lie within the details. Like, everything just makes it work.
Yeah, so the mixture of dance numbers, the mixture of music, and definitely the costuming too. Were all about the things what I liked about how people were cool and how I wasn't cool growing up. So I used to watch all aspirations like, man, I wish I could be Kid and Play.
And the film definitely bridges the gap with the social classes. Kid coming from a single-parent family. Play seems to have it a little bit better with a nice house. And then we had Shireen kind of living in the projects. But everyone comes together for this really cool house party.
Have you lived in projects before?
No.
You should though. It's pretty nice. There's a community in there. You can like talk to the same thing, have the same neighbors. It's great.
I prefer other projects.
What kind of other projects?
Like this one.
I love it.
With Kid, you get a really nice, kind of naive, shy boy. Play is a little bit more confident and a little bit more impulsive. And we get the third wheel, Bilal, that's just screaming for attention the entire movie.
Poor Bilal.
No, leave it. You tear my shit. No, don't. Shit, what the?
What about Kid and Play? The idea of two guys who are so different but relatable. I know your best friend has to be your complete opposite.
There's a great amount of substance within the side characters and the subplots.
Hey, you shut up all that damn noise. I paid $15,000 for this house. Who else is over there? Public Enema? What's his name? Public Enemy? Public Enema? What the hell is a Public Enema anyway? Who will give a Public Enema?
What about that in particular you like? Like, what about the substance and subplots?
Okay, so, you know, it's not uncommon to have a kid that's bullied at school, but in this case, the bullies were hip-hop group Full Force. I found that outright hilarious.
I've done it before. Ain't no thing to do it again.
Look, guys. Why are you sweating me, man? Look, you're wrinkling my school clothes.
Ooh, you wrinkling my school clothes.
I found it funny that the best dance sequence in the movie was to a Full Force song. Ain't my kind of hype, baby. Ain't my kind of hype, yo.
When it comes down to the culture, Full Force is so underrated. Their contributions for such a long period of time. You know that doesn't matter if it's one person or 5 people writing the song. Everyone gets credit as Full Force.
Oh,
Everybody
really?
eats. Yeah.
I don't know. I just know that one song, really.
Right? That's the move.
Burning house?
Burning house.
Hey, yo, Stab, hold up for a second, man. I was just talking about going inside there and just kicking some fucking ass, not burning people up.
Yeah, man, now you're going too far.
As expected, the party is the best part of the film. We get some really cool dance sequences, and the plot is driven to the point where Kid is involved in a love triangle with Shireen and Sydney, played by Tisha Campbell.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Very young, very supple Tisha Campbell. I can tell you this, when I was about Play's age, going to high school, getting in trouble, there's always that one girl, her name was Carla. I wanted to do nothing more than go to her house party with her. And I got the chance, so I was looking to that guy.
Yeah, see, it was different for me because I got introduced to Tisha Campbell from Little Shop of Horrors.
Another classic.
Yeah, not quite the same, but I thought it was pretty cool that she and Pam went on to do Martin. mine. My favorite part of the party is where Kid and Play grab the microphone and they rap. And I like that they were trying to outdo each other. And it was even in the song. Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do everything better than you. Huh?
Busted. It's my party and I'll rhyme if I want to. Be careful and don't you step to the front to diss.
So come with it, boy. Don't even hide your best. Cause Kid spelled backwards describes your best. Look around, watch the people.
When it comes to the rap groups in history, you know, Kid and Play had this chemistry about them. Were they the best lyrics? Were they the best songs? You may love them. I was kind of on the fence. But when they got together, there was no better bond between those two.
I agree. And I love when they danced together, when they did the Funky Charleston, as they call it. I think you and I tried that on the dance floor once and we got kicked out of the club.
Yeah, before I threw my back out. It was gross.
Yeah.
They had to carry me out on the stretchers. No?
Yeah, getting old sucks.
It does.
The end of the flick is fun, as Kid is trying to get home before Pops finds out he's been missing and puts him on punishment.
So here's the thing. You're having the party of the century, and it doesn't matter because you're just, at your core, so afraid of getting beat by Pops. Poor guy.
Overall, a very funny film. They just had to make a sequel to this.
Oh, well, House Party is a classic. To this day, of every other movie in the franchise, this one stands the test of time.
Absolutely. So we're moving on now to House Party 2, The Pajama Jam. With the overall success of House Party 1, it was inevitable that a sequel would come out, but this came out like a year later.
Oh, absolutely. It was really quick turnaround because they never knew the first one was that good. And I love saying Pajama Jam.
Yeah.
Pajama Jam.
Yeah, me too. The cool thing about this was they definitely had a little bit more of a budget. It seemed more like an MTV feature, considering the first one, it really was independent. A lot of people don't give it credit for that, but this one definitely had the power of MTV behind it with some of the up-and-coming R&B groups that were part of the film as well.
Hey, if something is on an upswing, can't fault the people for buying in, right? Here's House Party 2. Some would say as good, if not better in some ways, than the original one.
I agree.
But the music was on point. The costumes were also on point for this one. I think when it comes down to this, there's a camp that loved the second one, and a camp that loved the first one, and people like the franchise overall.
Yeah, definitely. Well, what I liked was that Kid and Play were still the focus, and you had Bilal still screaming for attention the entire time.
Yo, you know what I think?
Shut the fuck up, Bilal.
Yo, it ain't gonna be too many more of them shut the fuck ups, alright? Alright?
We had almost everyone come back from the first film except Shireen. I wonder what she was up to.
I have no idea.
Yeah. And I like that they integrated full force into it as well. It's kind of like, how do you get the bullies into there? They get them as campus security.
Yeah, exactly, because everyone loves security guards. They're like worse than the cops in the first one.
What are you guys doing here anyway?
What are we doing here? What up with that? The motherfucker's in college and he can't even read.
Yo, man, this means anytime we want to, we can fuck you right up. Yo, like, right?
And we got some new characters as well. We get Jamal. While silly at first, I really think he was a good representation of the commingled culture that universities were striving for in the early 90s.
Yeah, and the films of the time reflected that. You know, going to college is always a giant miles over people, and you do meet people from all over the spectrum, of people you like, people you don't like, people with their own agendas, and Jamal's a reflection of that.
Yeah, and I think that something important to look at is the timeline of everything. At the time of this release, I think it definitely took some inspiration from the television show A Different World.
Yeah, Dwayne Wayne.
Like, going back to Jamal, I like that you kind of thought this is just a white guy pretending to be black, but he was really, you know, representative of social awareness at the time.
See to the curve, you know what I'm saying?
Jamal, do me a favor.
What?
Talk white.
Just living by my wits isn't easy. It's hard work.
Hard work? Haven't seen you do any work yet.
And then you had characters like Miles, who used that to deceive people. He
Right.
just tried to make everyone think that he's this socially aware, you know, prim and proper guy, but downright the guy was a pig.
Further proof that first impressions sometimes can betray you, right?
Exactly. Like, the movie was really about college activism, and we're learning about your culture and stuff, but sometimes that can be taken a little bit too far, hence with Queen Latifah as Zora. And she even had, like, her social activism song represented.
Intelligence captivates my mind. I'ma succeed with my brain and not my behind. Cause I don't feel that as a black woman I should give up the booty if the boss thinks it's booming.
Now, her heart was in the right place, but it just goes to show you how college, when you change and you grow, sometimes you can take it a little bit too far.
Yeah, there's some I think I like the word sophomoric, right? How you're like a lover of knowledge, but sometimes that can betray you. So many people that age just have this key unlocked, the sum of all human knowledge and things they believe in and things they know, but it takes a while to focus that. So you come off as this giant flamethrower to things, and it was reflected with their character.
While the material is a bit more mature than the first film, I like that they still have the humor, and they even pay tribute to some of the stuff you saw in the first film.
Oh, damn, chill! Ah! Deja vu like a motherfucker.
Everything plot-wise leads up to yet another house party, but this time it serves a purpose, where Play spent all of kids' tuition money, so they gotta raise money for it, but there's a theme to it as well, hence the Pajama Jam.
The Pajama... No, I definitely remember this. We had a show where you were all about the Pajama Jam.
Well, do I look like a guy that would wear pajamas?
Yes, you would.
What the hell are you wearing?
Hey, it's House Party 2, the Pajama Jam.
The movie's having Pajama Jam. What are you doing in pajamas? Why do you even own pajamas?
Like, you don't know pajamas?
No, I don't own pajamas.
The party scene was great. Kid and Play performed their famous song, Ain't Gonna Hurt Nobody. But we also get Tony singing a different version of the title song sequence. Mm-hmm. And Ralph Tresvant, he sang my favorite song, Yo Baby, Yo Baby, Yo.
Yo Baby, Yo.
Hi, Patty.
I will admit that the ending scene was a bit convoluted. We just get a big chase scene that you would see in a Scooby-Doo episode.
What's wrong with Scooby-Doo episodes?
It just didn't really fit. It was just kind of like all these zany antics and...
Where are you? We need some help from you now.
Fair enough, but it definitely seemed like it was a paint by numbers kind of a homage to the first one. It was a ticking time bomb, and it was like at the end of it. It didn't even have the same effect, but I dug it.
So, overall, a good sequel, but the question is, should they have stopped there?
I don't know, man. The first two were classics, and after that, not so much. It's kind of like a what if 2020 is hindsight kind of thing, you know?
Alright, so in this time period, Kid and Play were really still a hot commodity. So they made another movie, but they branched a little bit away from the House Party franchise, so we get Class Act.
Didn't we talk about this one too?
No.
Alright, fine.
So Kid and Play returned to a high school setting, and it's a case of mistaken identities in this flick.
You know, this is the first time when I saw them in high school, and I'm like, these guys don't look like they belong in high school at all. See, the thing is, I think it's the hair, bro. I think that Razorhead was totally selling me college. I saw you in college. You're dancing in college. You went back to high school. It's kind of a odd thing.
Yeah, but it's kind of. I wonder where the continuity was, because I remember at the end of House Party 2, they filmed a video for Ain't Gonna Hurt Nobody, and Kid had gotten rid of the flat top, and he had. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But then, at the beginning of this movie, he had the flat top again. So maybe they were filming this simultaneously. I don't know.
Actually makes a lot of sense to think of it that way.
Yeah. Character-wise, they played somewhat extreme versions of the characters that they played in the House Party movies, with Kid being extremely shy and naive, a bookworm, and Play basically out on parole.
Yeah, quite literally, right? So here's an idea. Two different worlds are colliding.
You too can be a Soul Train dancer.
What are you talking about, man? This gear's hype, man. Not like that Kmart stuff you be wearing.
Kmart? This is not Kmart. This is JC's Penney's top of the line, buddy.
So the first time you saw Class Act, were you on board with these characters, or the whole thing seemed derivative?
Well, the thing for me is that I saw the House Party movies and Class Act much later in life. Mm-hmm. I remember seeing previews for it growing up, but there was just one day that I got a hankering to watch all the House Party movies, and I liked them, and then I remember, hey, there's Class Act. So, yes, I do feel it was derivative. However, the characters gel so well together that I didn't really mind it. I just love seeing Kid and Play together.
You just hit a hankering. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, it was funny because like the House Party movies were great. That kind of growing up associated with my brother. He was into those. Class Act I thought was like for me. You know, it was kind of like the same kind of guy, same world-ish, but off to its side. And even though like in hindsight it doesn't match up as well the House Party movies, it has like a nice charm to it as well.
Yeah, I mean, at least they were trying to do something different.
The possibility, which is for you to work out where you went wrong. I guarantee to you that it will not take long for you to make your mind up if you belong. You know where honey's head at and where he's coming from.
One thing about this film is we don't get as many fun side characters. We get Dougie Doug playing Popsicle, and a guy who was coming into his own. We get Pauly Shore in it.
Pauly Shore is an enigma in comedy. You know, runs a comedy store. People know who he is, but that definitely was a time where he was considered the next biggest thing, right?
Yeah. I mean, this is right around the time Encino Man came out the same year, a little bit later. So Pauly Shore, I mean, like him or not, that was his 15 minutes right there.
Cool buddies. Tyson. Rasta butts. Creasing outside of your map. Lynn. Bladich, dude, talk to me. Ginsu.
What?
So we don't get as many fun side characters, but part of the plot is the fact that Kid and Play are courting girls that are complete opposites of them.
Ready?
Ready? I thought we were going to do the biology paper.
Sugar, we need to do a little more research first.
You may be a serious scholar, but you have a wild streak hidden deep inside you.
No shit.
See, I love it when you talk dirty like that. God.
Kid gets the little bit more aggressive girl, and Play, you know, he makes out like a bandit because he gets Hillary from the Fresh Prince, and you know I love her.
I didn't know you did. That's crazy.
Yeah, man, I have a thing for whiny, needy girls, I guess.
Whiny, needy.
Yeah, Whitley on a Different World, you know.
Oh, Whitley. That's a whole different class in a row.
Yeah.
How's it going, Jasmine Guy? Hey.
Jasmine Guy, hey. And of course, what I really like is the fact that you got to see Kid and Play rap. This time it was like a high school dance scene, and Kid, he's like, oh, what's the microphone? But of course, you know, then he kicks it, you know, old school.
Yeah, it's kind of weird when someone just pretends they don't know, and then they come out there like total hustler side. But
yeah.
I love the fact that they always find a way to integrate the performances in these movies.
Agreed.
Time it is in the rapping and rhyming biz. And one thing for sure, yo, I ain't no quitter. Pick up the home run hitter.
Never had to take it, I was given respect. Never had to learn it because I came correct. Couldn't care less.
Now, the end of the movie was kind of bizarre. You get a car chase when Kid is taken captive by Tommy from Martin, and then it all ends up in a wax museum. Like, what's up with that?
I have no idea, but Tommy finally got a job. Shout out to Tommy. He got a job.
I mean, the Kid and Play movies really helped Martin get off the ground.
If you think about it, now you mention it, yeah, why not? Yeah. Well, you're right. The ending was definitely something a little bit off kilter, but again, offering you a different experience than House Party. I felt like it was definitely these characters in a toy box, and the writer said, let's go have fun with it.
Come on.
Oh my God!
Tia.
So I like this film, but they were really like treading on thin ice with the Bing Bang Boom, like 3 movies in 3 years with House Party 1, 2, and then Class Act. Maybe they should have taken a break after this.
It's definitely hard to say. For the sake of the franchises, I will probably say yes, but if the talent's hot, you got to strike with the iron's hot.
Yeah, and I mean, that's just kind of how sequels roll.
See you later, Isaac Hayes.
The pleasure's mine, Whoopi.
All right, so moving on. With House Party 3, we need a little bit of help, so we've switched from coffee to scotch now.
Oh, man.
Man, this movie's gonna make House Party look like House Party 2.
Or House Party 3.
Shut the fuck up.
So in 1994, Kid and Play decided to revisit the House Party series with House Party 3.
Oh, yeah, this was a return to form. The whole world was waiting to revisit the House Party lore, but does it add up to the first 2 movies?
No, definitely not. I mean, this movie was a real mixed bag because Kid and Play, the roles that they had in the movie seemed very much in line with the roles that they had outside of it, where they were producers just trying to get other talent over.
Absolutely. That's kind of the bucket they put themselves in, because you can't go back to high school, you can't go back to college. You want to be a 30-year-old person having house parties. That's kind of creepy.
The duo's back in effect on a house party set, catching wreck on a mic check. Before we tear it up, I turn and give my partner a high five, cause it's time to get live.
Kid and Play, unfortunately, were kind of secondary, as they were really trying to push immature TLC and the young budding careers of Chris Tucker and Bernie Mac. In retrospect, all of them, you know, had thriving careers afterwards, but it was at the expense of Kid and Play. And, you know, I just would rather see them more involved in the movie than a springboard for other people.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. I will be honest with you guys. One of my favorite rappers for the longest time was Will Smith, the former Fresh Prince. I bought every single album of his. There was one album called Born to Reign featuring Trey Knox, and Trey Knox was on every track. When I buy a Will Smith CD, I want Will Smith. I want pure, uncut Will.
I see your point. point, because when I buy a Chris Gaines CD, I don't want Garth Brooks on there.
You must be the world's only Chris Gaines fan.
Well, that's the way I remember it. It feels like the plot is trying to be a little bit more mature, no pun intended.
Oh, I get it, because immature in the movie.
But it's a little bit all over the place.
Okay.
Alright, ooh, shit. Alright, here we go. Right here. What, same time, bro. I don't know you, man. Same time. I don't know you. Okay. Same time.
Kid is getting married. Unfortunately not to Sydney, though. On the other side, Play is trying to sign TLC, or rather Sex as a Weapon, and meanwhile we get 20 other subplots.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, Ralph. This is a really good opportunity to go back to what worked with Kid and Play, but we got death by a billion subplots here. And ultimately, it was a detriment to the movie.
Yes, can I help you?
Sorry. We just flew in from Detroit to perform in front of some senior citizens. And all our luggage is gone.
It's not so much that the subplots are bad. I mean, I can appreciate any scene with Chili from TLC. But it just, you really don't understand. Is this a Kid and Play movie, or is this a movie to push new talent?
Yeah, it's definitely the second one, and that's a problem, because we're all about tickets to ET House Party.
Right.
We want Kid and Play presents House Party. We want the straight no chaser version.
Would you believe I've even thought about cutting my hair?
Oh, this is more serious than I thought.
It gets worse. The other day I went out shopping to buy some gear. I almost bought a tie.
Wait a minute, you're making me nauseous now. I mean,
I guess it's debatable. If they would have brought back all of the original cast, would it be going to the well too often, or would it perhaps have made it feel a little bit more like a house party movie?
It's definitely a tricky proposition. I mean, you have things like American Wedding, where all the cast is back, but doesn't quite hit as hard as it does. But compare that to like the revival of Roseanne a couple of years ago on television. That totally hit all the marks and had a way to show the growth of the character. So it's definitely a risk for your writers and producers, and this one just hit the mark here.
Yeah, and then we have to look at, like, in reality what was going on, because House Party 1 and 2, they really got over Martin Lawrence and Tisha Campbell, so they were off doing Martin. So Martin doesn't return at all, but we get Tisha Campbell in, what, like 5 minutes of footage?
Kid, I wish it had ended better between us.
Yeah, me too.
But something I wonder, though, is what was Full Force up to when they were filming this movie?
I have no idea. The security guards are one time, they were like the bullies another. I mean, what else could it be? Tax accountants?
Well, I mean, they had that subplot with the butchers.
Yeah, but it wasn't the same. I want it to be a lot more like how they were in the first two movies. That's the problem with this film altogether. It's like, I'm watching and going, these characters were in better, superior situations. Especially with Full Force.
It wasn't the same, but you could tell that it was derivative of that, just like how Stinky was very derivative of Bilal, even like right down to the bad breath.
Yeah, stop. Flip one out for the other, and it totally shows.
Hey, look, man, this is all we want. Some chicken wings, hot dogs, and a case of 40s. You got that?
First of all, you need to calm the fuck down and go gargle, Funky.
Man, my name is Stinky. Stinky, all right?
I do wonder, though, was David kicked off the real world so that he could film this show? Ultimately, House Party 3 is still worth a watch, but you kind of just have to accept the fact that it feels like you're watching a different movie at certain times. Bernie Mac was on fire in all of his scenes, but it just felt like a different movie, especially the scene with the family, where it felt very much like a pre-Nutty Professor.
True.
No, I got to cut you. That's the rule. Cut you, cut you, cut you, cut you. I want all of you out of my house now.
But I will say, in the end, we got the finale that I had been hoping for with Kid and Play rapping, and they added TLC into the mix. I really like the finale song. What about you?
TLC is definitely a group that doesn't get the credit they deserve most of the time. It's cool to see them back when they were not quite at their prime, but right before their prime. And it was a feel-good movie. It just happens that when you compare it to the other two, it kind of falls short. But I will say this: I would recommend you people watch it because I did like it overall.
The kid from Get and Play. Now that's a rap group. I'm not that soup, but I'm living fat true.
E to the L-A-Y in the place to be. What's the matter, brother? Didn't you hear me sing? I'm the man.
Knock, knock, you gotta let me in, cause I know you got alligator skin underneath for your chin, and I only must pick up.
Alright, so this scotch is hitting me pretty hard, but the next thing we're not going to talk about is House Party 4.
Why not?
Because it was just a ripoff of Ferris Bueller's Day Off. All it was House Party by name.
But House Party was in the name.
Yes, but it just didn't make any sense. They got some of the kids from Immature, and now they're in IMAX or IMAX 1 or whatever. And, you know, all it was the name.
Well, was Kid and Play there?
No, they weren't.
Then why are we talking about House Party 4?
Not.
House Party 5 is next.
House Party 5.
Yo, I'm sorry, man.
Alright, so House Party 5. Now, I had to watch this movie because I saw the Kid and Play had an appearance in it.
Yeah, but it was a cameo. It doesn't count.
Yeah, but a little cameo ain't gonna hurt nobody.
Bada boom, the whitest guy in the room.
So, Flobo didn't do his research, and he didn't watch House Party 5, but that's time in my life that I'm never gonna get back. All it really was a Disney movie with cursing and raunchiness inserted to try to make it edgy, but it really just came down to a stupid movie with a 1-minute cameo from Kid and Play in the end. I love seeing Kid and Play, but it was very hard to get to that point.
So, walk me through this. We're in the video store because they still exist nowadays.
They do?
Yeah, you're in the edgy Disney movie aisle, and you go, House Party 5. Hopefully, my heroes, Kid and Play, are in it. You watch the entire thing, and they're at the end. Is that not a bait and switch?
I don't know what he's talking about with a video store. I just downloaded it.
We're gonna call our peoples. We're gonna get together, and we're gonna show y'all what a real house party's supposed to be. You hear me? You feel me?
Yeah, heard y'all was doing our dance.
Oh, we be killing it.
Okay.
Don't do that no more. Don't do that no more.
No more.
No more.
No.
No.
Well, that wraps it up for our movies featuring Kid and Play. But you know, with watching these movies, I kind of got excited, and I thought about revisiting our rapping career. I really think that we could be as good as Kid and Play. You know, give me a beat.
No.
All right then. Well, that wraps it up for this edition of Just an Opinion. I'm Ralphus.
I'm Flobo.
And we might be back to do another show. I don't know.
So everybody bring your dancing shoes. Let's have a